Good evening, everybody. This is career talk about the Master in Sport Business Management from IOM. So we will have, I think, until 8:15. So it's an open discussion with the alumni who join us tonight. So briefly, as an introduction, myself, so Marjorie Brocci, I'm the program director of the MSc in Sport Business Management. I'm at IOM since 2014. And while you can see I have a few years of experience in different fields and in a very international, let's say, environment, because I spent a long time in China, in the UK, in Italy, and now in Monaco, because I'm half French, half Italian. And I'm finalizing as well a PhD because it's never finished with the studies. But the more important people tonight, it's not me, the alumni who are with us tonight. So Florent Boas, who has been graduated in 2017, and you can see what he does now as a position, but he will explain that better. Thank you so much, Florent, for being there tonight, and works in Monaco. We have the very exotical Juan from Mexico, and Juan Yunes from 2019 academic year, and he will explain what he does exactly. And I'm extremely happy to see you, Ivan, because even if you work in Monaco, Ivan Sarto, and you can see that this is the, let's say, older alumnus tonight is in Monaco, but he's very busy, and sometimes we don't meet because everybody is extremely busy, and especially now with this bloody COVID, everybody was working at home. Thank you guys for being there. Well, generally we have women, but tonight it's very men evening. I'm okay with that. Thank you so much. Anyway, I really appreciate it. So let's start with few facts about the sport business management and what is important. I don't want to enter into the detail because you have different data. Of course, later, if you want more placement data, we can have a discussion. What is important is that until now, the cohorts were very small. So, of course, the percentage think about that the percentage are really based on very small cohort. Year after year, we have more and more students, but it's true that we started with very few students in the cohort. So, of course, the percentage are based on that, and you can see, let's say, the professional status, but also the placement by industry, and you can see that the major one is really advertising and marketing and events in sport, which is not a big discovery. And you can see where the students 3 months after graduation are geographically. And we have a lot in Monaco, but it's based on very small cohorts. So it's anyway a lot, and it gives you an idea. You can see the different career position as well that we have among our students and alumni. Well, of course, tonight Florent is a very good example of, and also Ivan Sarto, broadcasting and TV rights, sport, but also digital. And of course for Juan, sorry, excuse me, the day was extremely long. I started very early this morning. I'm a little bit tired, sorry. He will explain as well what is his job now in Mexico. So let's say different really positions. So we cover a lot of let's say the three pillars in the sport industry. There are technically the governance in the sport. There is also the event and the marketing, and also the brands as well. So we have technically some students working in the different, let's say, pillars of the sport industry. But let's enter really in the discussion, which is the most important moment tonight. So first of all, the first questions: where are you working now, guys? What position and the company? I don't know if there is a specific order. Maybe I don't know. Florent, maybe? No, I don't know. Yes, you, yes. Or maybe Ivan. I don't know.
As you prefer, you choose. Okay.
Allez. You know, Ivan is the older alumnus. Let's start with Ivan. Okay. Please, just introduce yourself as well, your nationality and so on, very briefly, and after talk about your actual position.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ivan Sarto, and I work. I'm Italian, and I'm 31 years old, and I work in Monaco in a company called Monaco Mediax, which is an event organizer. One of the main events we organize is Sportel. Sportel is a world leader in sport business events and conventions. With specific focus on media and technology. So in Monaco Mediax, I am the digital manager. So I manage the websites and all the digital platforms that we have. So the platform for e-ticketing, for example. And also I manage the digital marketing of the company. So everything to promote the events via our digital platforms, which means, like I said, website, but also newsletter campaigns, social media, and applications, mobile applications. So that's my job. And I started as an intern in this company just after the IUM academic year. And I started as a web and social media coordinator. So in those years, I managed to become the responsible and manager of the digital world that we have in our company. That's basically what.
Thank you, Ivan. So very digital and social media. And what about you, Florent?
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Florent. I am French. I'm working for the UIPM. The UIPM is the International Federation of the Sport of Modern Pentathlon. So I'm not sure a lot of people know the sport. It's a very small sport. But it's an Olympic sport. We are part of the Olympic program since 1912. As a matter of fact, the sport was founded by Pierre de Coubertin, who is the founder of the modern Olympic Games. For those who wonder, modern pentathlon is a combination of 5 different sports. We have fencing, the épée. We have 200-meter freestyle swim. Then we have a riding show jumping, and we finish up by a combination of running and shooting, which we call the laser run. So my job is, I can explain a little bit later, but it's mostly related to media operations. So yeah, I think I can go deeper for the next question.
No. Marjorie?
I guess Marjorie has some trouble with her connection. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna take the the lead. Let me try to find the presentation again. Just 1 second. I'm so sorry for that. So if I remember well, the second question was if you can explain your career path. How did you get to your job and what you did exactly?
Maybe Juan can say what he works.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can explain. I'm Juan. I'm from Mexico. I work in Mexico. I'm 30 years old, and I work in the entertainment industry. I work in the third biggest promoter of sports and entertainment in the world. It's called OCESA, which it's a subsidiary from Grupo CIE. And we are just below Live Nation, the biggest promoter in the world, and another promoter in Europe. My job specifically is I started in the company by doing by leading the project of a baseball new stadium here in Mexico City, which is the most popular baseball team in Mexico. And I manage sponsorship, ticketing, operations of the venue, and the food and beverage. So it was a really great experience for me. And now I work in the operations of all the venues that we manage right now. There are 14. We sell in 1 year. We also own the exclusivity of Ticketmaster here in Mexico and Latin America. So we sell approximately 37 million tickets per year. And in Mexico, in our venues, 5 million tickets. So now I work in the operations and the functions of the 14 venues that we work here in Mexico nationally.
Okay, thank you very much. I imagine you notice I disappear a few minutes because I have a technical problem. Fortunately, it was the time for the alumni to introduce themselves. So I apologize for this this connection problem. Well, that means that we are really in live session. So thank you for your presentation. Now the next question is, can you explain also your career path? And it's interesting because we have students who are not, let's say, you are all graduates, so you have already different, let's say, job and evolution in a job. So what is your career path? Maybe we can start with, I don't know, Ivan?
Yes. I have a bachelor's degree in communication and media, and I studied that in Italy. And then I had my master's degree in Monaco and in the sport business management master degree. I always been passionate about digital. So that's why I decided to study communication and media. But I love sports. Sports is my second passion after digital. So with my bachelor's and my master's degree, I managed to combine those two words, sports and digital. And I was very lucky to find a job that combined those two words. I don't, like I said before, I work in an event organizer, which organize multiple events. But Sportel is one of the main events that we organize. So it's really, I found out about Sportel thanks to the IUM, because 1 month after we started our academic year, we could go to see what Sportel is about. This convention which gathers all the media, all the most famous media in the world. If you mention Fox, NBA, Fox, ESPN, Sky Sports, every media is in Sportel. And then we have the federation, so the NBA, MLB, NFL from the US, and then we have La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, and every big federation in the world. Because the goal of the event is to make those two words, the media words and the sports, to make business. So when you read in the newspaper that maybe La Liga has sell the TV rights for Sky Sports, maybe it happened in Sportel. So it's a really incredible place to be when it comes to sport business industry. So I'm very glad to work in this company, and I'm very happy that it's IUM that thanks to the connection and networking that IUM provides, I could find this kind of job.
Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure you sold perfectly Sportel to our guest. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. What about you, Juan?
Right. Yeah. I have a different path than Ivan. I didn't always know what to do. So I studied first accounting and finance, and I have a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. And I work in the banking industry for almost 8 years. And then when I was literally becoming very successful in the banking industry, I decided that I didn't that was not my dream. And I was still at the age that I could change my mind. So I decided to study my passion always been the sports in every way, in every different, how you consume sports today, how you use sports, how you practice sports, how you do. And then I discovered after the sports that it was huge, that it was bigger than sports. It was an entertainment industry that it's huge among all different kind of sports and entertainment to the people. And it's the after oil, it's the second biggest industry in the world that has money. So it was very fulfilling to study to study in IUM, to study a sports, to study a master that that embrace all different kind of sports marketing and the sports federations and the sports different branches, not only football, as if you can find an sports management in London or in the UK or in other countries. This master summarizes all the different areas that you can work in, and it was very fulfilling for me. Also, Sportel was very fulfilling.
Thank you very much, Juan. And Florent, very interesting also path and in another field as well of the sport industry.
Yeah, so on my side, I did my bachelor in Monaco and IUM in a BBA, Business Administration. And then I didn't really know what to do after the bachelor. So there was this big event in Nice, in my hometown, which was the Football Euro. So I decided to volunteer because I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to be part of an event. My friends were going, so I said, okay, let's do it. And I ended up in helping the broadcasters there. So I was doing small jobs, but I was assisting them. And then I realized, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to work in this industry, and especially in the media and the broadcast area. So when this finished, it was in the summer, and I contacted Marjorie, and we set up a meeting, and then I enrolled for the Masters in Sport Business Management. And I think I cannot agree more with Juan when she says that it's very multidisciplinary. I think you learn about a lot of stuff. In my day-to-day job, I still use the knowledge that I learned during the Masters. Institutional marketing, media, even sometimes politics of sports. It's very important. So yeah, I'm quite lucky in my path because also thanks to IUM, I was struggling to find an internship, and one day Marjorie came to me and she says, okay, there's this federation in Monaco. They're looking for an intern, and it fits your profile. So okay, I sent them an email, and at the end of the day, I think I was a good fit because they hired me, and I've been working there for 3 years now. And yeah, so I think I was quite lucky in this case. I did also thanks to IUM also I worked during some events in Monaco, sports events, the Rolex Masters, for instance, the Formula 1 Grand Prix and the E-Prix, Electric Prix. I went to Sportel, of course. I think that's a must. So yeah, I have to say that in this IUM was helping.
Sorry. Thank you very much. It's another question that we have just after. Thank you all of you, because you represent different position and different also let's say sector of the industry. As I mentioned previously, you have three main pillars: the marketing and events, let's say the brands, and the sport brands, and also the governance aspect. And one thing is very major. This is through a very transversal, activity among all these pillars is the let's say the the sport, the event management, and the digital part. And it's true that in Monaco, we have, because of Monaco and because we have collaboration and very specific partnership also with Rolex Tennis, but especially with Portel, Monaco Mediax, and also the Automate Club of Monaco. It's true that the students are really exposed, of course, to the theory, but also immediately to the practice and the experience. And they can really apply what they learn, especially we have this major because we are in Monaco, and Monaco hosts a lot of big international sport events. And that's why it's really a major for the students and very helpful for their career, because whatever if you work for a brand, if you work for a federation, if you want for a stadium, if you want for I don't know, an agency, I mentioned that, in a marketing company and so on, you will have at one moment to deal with digital and with events. And it's true that for sure that's why we have tonight 3 very different representatives of the sport industry. And thanks to this master, and also because there is a very important point to keep in mind, that there is the training, but there is also the person. And these guys have the job they have today because they had also the competencies and also the passion and so on. So it's a nice combination of all these different elements, of course. So thank you for sharing with us these elements. Next, very sensitive question and very passionate question. What do you love the most in your job, Guy, today? Ivan? Because especially you, because you're also in your position since very long time at Sportel now.
Yeah, yes. What I like the most from my job. In event management, we work all year long to accomplish some goals. So there are hard times, but when it comes to the event itself, it's good to see the results of your work during the event. So maybe you work really tough for 6 or 7 months to do something, and then you see the event itself, you see the results, and year after year, like you said, Marjorie, I've been working for 4 years in Monaco Mediax. So year after year, I saw the growth of my work. So I set the bar higher every year. So that's the thing I like the most. It's a challenge every year, and that's the thing that I like the most.
Oh, excuse me. What about you, Juan, in Mexico?
For me, it's what I like the most about my job is, like Ivan said, in event management. What I love the most is when you realize what you've done, and when you see people pleased by what you have done. It's really amazing. There's a moment in event management when you are in contact with all different areas, and there's hundreds of people working. Let's say, I know I'm talking about sports, but let's say we make a huge festival here in Mexico called EDC. I think there's around the world, but we make it here, and we sell around 100,000 tickets per day. So we are waiting for 100 people to come, for 100,000 people to come to see. So it's a great tension. You've been building this 7 to 8 months, and then you don't know where you're going to expect and everything. But the moment I love the most is when everything's ready, so you open the gates, and that's the most.
An accomplishment, the feeling of an accomplishment.
Exactly.
And
then after 3 days, or in a baseball stadium, when you say as well that everything's ready, security, beverages, sponsorship, broadcast, everybody's ready, so you open the doors for the people or for the game to start.
Okay, and Florent, in your job as well, very particular job as well, very intense.
Yeah, I actually I don't think I had the chance to explain in the beginning my job exactly. I'm a media operations manager, which means that basically the purpose of my position is to ensure the maximum media coverage for our sport, our main sport, which is pentathlon. Develop the awareness of it, because as I said in the beginning, it's very little sport and very unknown and popular. In some Eastern European countries a bit more, but in the Western world, it's very not very well known. So my job is to make sure that the relationships with the media stakeholders are taken care of properly, and that those guys can work in the best conditions possible. Because only if we give them the opportunity to cover our sport, they will do it. If you make it difficult, no chance. They will not bother. Now, I think what I like most about my job is that I have the chance to have a 9-to-5 office job, so to have a sort of stability. And then I get to travel about between 6 to 10 times per year to events, because we have events all over the world. This year, not really because of the epidemic, but in a normal year, I would travel about 6 to 10 times per year. And as Ivan and Juan said, it's very fulfilling to work for so many months on events, and then you go to the event and you actually realize that it's something real. You know, it's not just a bunch of emails that you're sending out, but it's something real, and people watch it and they like it. So I think this is what I like the most about my job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You share definitely the passion. I remember when I visited, UEFA last year, the manager of the coordination of, the entertainment just before the game explained that they work 2 years for 2 minutes. And I think this is the perfect summarize of what you enjoy life, because you work super hard, but you are so passionate to see just people happy to be part of the game and on the event. This is typically what we expect in sport industry, and that's why I insist all the time when we have candidates. The first thing is not to have competencies and so on. It's to have patience, because you will have to work super hard, but you don't have to count the hours, and you will be tired and so on, but you will be extremely happy by the result. And if you have a smile at the end, you are ready to do this type of job. And if you think, oh my God, it will be hard and so on, forget it. It's not a job for you guys. So I think this is the key element, the passion first. Okay, thank you anyway, because you share really very well this feeling. Very important question. How long did it take to find a job? Ivan, for you?
For me, not much actually. Like I said before, just after the academic year at IUM, I've been able to find the internship that opens the door of my actual position now at Sportel Monaco Mediax. Yeah. So like I said, IUM has really good links with the sport business industry, especially in Monaco, but in the whole world. So that's how I've been able to know about Sportel. So it was a really quick transition from the university to
the job.
To job that I have.
Yeah. Okay. And Juan, it was a little bit different for you.
For me, it was different because I have no working visa for Europe, so it was a little difficult. I waited, let's say, like when we finished school, the master, I waited like 3 months looking for a job over there. I mean, in Monaco, in different countries, and it was really hard because of the situation of the world to give for a non-European citizen to give a working visa. I mean, those things can change every month, but at that time it was difficult, so I came back to Mexico, and here in Mexico it took me 1 month. So it was But
Yeah,
really,
you point in an important point. If you are a non-European, of course, when you want to stay in Monaco or also in Europe, it really depends also if the company is ready to sponsorize, the students, because we have students and non-European, they find they are able to find a job in Monaco, but because they are sponsorized by the company, and it's not always the case. It's not typical to Monaco, as you mentioned. It happens, especially in Europe. But it depends really if also the company wants to sponsorize also. Well, I think I would say that it was a little bit long and stressful for a time. But when you decided to go back, what is good that and I mentioned that just before we started this discussion. I was really happy because you found immediately something in your country, and very interesting job.
yes,
So I was very happy about that. Thank you.
I was very
And
happy as well.
yeah, Florent, a very interesting journey as well for you.
I mean, for me, it's basically pretty much the same as Ivan. I found my internship in IUM, and I mean, I was lucky because the person that I was assisting had to leave, also because of a visa issue, and so I basically took over. So it didn't take me. I mean, I was never in a position of looking for a job after the internship. I found it directly while I was still studying. Actually, I think I even started my internship a little bit earlier. So I was quite lucky.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Next question. Well, I think we already cover sort of. If you want to add something about that, please. The floor is yours, guys. How did IUM help you develop your career?
Yeah, I would say that in addition to what we already said, in my case, IUM helps me to deeply understand how the sport business industry is about, and especially all the positions that the industry can offer. And when I say deeply, is because you will be able to meet professionals and talk with professional from the sports industry world. So you will learn a lot from them, talking to them. So maybe you have an idea of what the job is, but during the year, you may change your approach to the industry because you will know directly, like Marjorie said before, it's not only about theory, it's about practice. That's why the IUM year is really interesting, because you don't have only the classes, but you also have a lot of networking events where you will be able to meet a lot of people from the professional world. So that's how IUM helps me to understand better the industry.
Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah, there's no doubt that IUM helped to know, like Ivan said, all the positions that the industry offers. You have an idea what the sports are, and you see them on TV, but you don't know really what's behind the scenes of all different people that works in different many areas, like Ivan, Florent, and myself. But there's a whole world behind the sports industry that you don't know about it until you study that. And it's very interesting, as Ivan said as well. There are very good professors that have worked a lot of time in the sports industry and have a lot of experience that can help you know more about the industry and can give you insights about it and can guide you and teach you about what you want to do and where do you want to participate. In my specific case, not like Ivan or Florent, that they were a little more, they know what they wanted to do. I didn't know, and the professors did real help me to guide me to where I want to be and where I see myself, and what I can help in the industry and where I can develop. And even with the guidance of the IUM and the development, you enter the real world, and it's a whole world that it's. But the preparation that the IUM gives you, it's very complete, and you practice a lot. You have this Portel event, you have the Rolex Masters, you have the Formula E or the historic Grand Prix, you have the Grand Prix. So it's a great experience.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you very much. Florent, you want to add something on this part?
I pretty much said it all, but I agree with the guys. I really think that it brings you a competitive advantage, and also the fact that, as you said, Marjorie, that the program is located in Monaco. That's I don't think there's a lot of places in the world where in such a small area, it's only 2 square kilometers, you are going to find this diversity of people, of events. There's, like Ivan said, we have those networking events, and you are going to meet people that you would not have the chance to meet otherwise. So yeah, that's, for me, that's definitely a competitive advantage.
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned, Ivan, that there is the theory, the practice, the experience, and it's really important because it's a mix also with the networking, and also because you students, you can have access because of Monaco, because we are the only business school, and because we have very specific partnership in Monaco, and this is unique in the world technically. You know, when you see your students in the paddocks, really during the Grand Prix, that means that you touch something. You know, this is not in a book. It's really important for the students to really experience what they learn in class before, and to they touch that, and at the same time they are in the networking and in a very fantastic environment. So it's really relevant, and prepare them for sure. Prepare you for your future career in terms of content, but also of networking, of course. And we organize also different networking moments, very important for the students as well. When we organize the International Business Days, I was thinking about that in March, 3 days. We call a HR agency, and they come to explain, you know, the different industry, the different job to discover the industry and the opportunities in terms of job for the students. They have the possibility to meet in speed biz dating also the companies, because we invite 80 different companies. This is important, not necessarily to find an internship or to find a job, but to have some advices from professionals and from experts in this field, because it's a very competitive environment, the sport industry. And you have to be passionate, you have to be an expert, you have to be competent, and you have to have a network. And it's exactly an experience. And this is exactly what we try to offer to the students, to give them the possibility to achieve their goals in terms of job. So thank you guys, because you are a very perfect example. Thank you for that. Well, I think we already discussed this point. Was your internship in line with your current job? Well, for Ivan, technically, yes, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think why it was a little bit, of course, different. If you want to add something,
but
it
was no doubt, because I mean, the internship obviously helped to find a job. I didn't do the internship over there. I came back to Mexico and find a work, not an internship.
Mm.
But because it was also a question that one person asked. So yes, there's no doubt that the internship helped you, and it's in line with your job, but also not just the internship, the opportunity to work in the other activities that we mentioned, that the opportunity and the unique opportunity that Monaco offers to work in the Grand Prix and in the Rolex. You meet people, you know people in Sportel as well. You meet people, you know people in the business days in the IUM also. You meet people, and it's very fulfilling to know that there are a lot of opportunities that you can find an internship, and that the internship will the only person that decides if the internship is in line with your current job, it's yourself. Because you are in your internship, and if you don't like your internship, that's not going to be your job. But if you like it and you are good at it, it's going to be your job. So,
Florent, you want to say something?
No, I think what I wanted to add is also related to what Juan said. Those little internships that we have, for instance, in the Grand Prix or Sport, it's not just they don't give us a seat and we watch the Grand Prix. No, it's a real opportunity to work, and you are part of the event. And this is a unique opportunity to meet people, to build your strength, your skills, and your interpersonal skills as well. So yeah, this is for me. This is definitely a good point. And yeah, the internship is definitely in line with my career, because I found my internship and then I got the job. So
absolutely. I think we're almost at the end, and so to conclude, what would be the advice you would like to give to the guests we have with us tonight with this webinar? Ivan, you want to start?
Yes. So, like we all said, we all agree about how good of an experience is the IUM master year, academic year. But it's only 1 year, so it passes quickly. So the advice I would like to give is to really exploit every single opportunity that you will face during the year. For opportunity, like we all said again, it's mostly when it comes to talk to people, the professionals that you will meet. So don't say, okay, tonight I don't want to talk in the networking events. I don't want to talk with this person because I will have other opportunities later that year. It's really great what IUM gives you, but it's, like I said, only 1 year. So you have to give your 100% to exploit, like I said, every single opportunity, because you will have amazing opportunities that it will really help you in your career, in your understanding also of the industry, and it will help in your
So sorry, Ivan. Yeah, you're right. It's very, the master is only 10 months of classes, and after you have 6 months maximum of internship if you choose an internship. So it's very intense, and it's a mix of project, courses, exams, network, events, and so on. So each one is extremely important, and you have to think to be connected with this person, but also to don't forget to use the experience you had, to put that on your LinkedIn page as well. So you have really to benefit, to think all the time to okay, what can I do for me, for my career, from what I receive, or it's in a course, or it's in a project, or it's in an event. So it's very intense. So don't absolutely, I agree with you, Ivan. What about you, Juan? An advice, and after Florent?
Yeah, just a little more about what Ivan said. Just it's a very, very unique experience that you're gonna have, because Monaco is a unique place, and it's a unique experience that you need to explode every day of it. You need to really, really 100% focus on taking advantage of the opportunity that you're having in front of you, in order to have fulfillment for yourself and to be successful with you. You need to take advantage of the opportunity that Monaco gives.
Florent, thank you, Juan.
I think for me, like I said in the beginning, the thing that made me realize I wanted to work in this line of work was the volunteer experience I had, and from experience with other federations, and especially bigger federations, volunteering is very appreciated. So if you have the chance in your country, in your city, to volunteer for any sort of events, for any sort of sport-related entities, I would really suggest you to do it, because you are not only you don't have to think about just working for free. It's actually, you are going to meet people. You are going to learn some new skills. And on a CV, it's really a plus. Trust me, it's really a plus. I speak with the experience of it. And then I had another advice, but that's more when you're going to be looking for an internship. My advice is, don't take the first internship you find just because you need to do it, because you need to give a thesis back. But find the one that you really want to do, because otherwise it's not going to bring you much. You are going to come to the office every day with no motivation, and that's not what we want. We really want the internship experience to be fulfilling, and so that you can use this experience for your future, even if you don't get the job at the end.
I totally agree, especially at the master level, because normally after master you work, you know. So the choice and decision you have to take to follow and to choose an internship, because sometimes the students have the possibility, and I would like to say, create also your condition to have the choice, because it's important to really don't take it because you have to validate your diploma. Don't think like this. We can find all the solution to validate. If it's not an internship, you can do a thesis. You know, it's very important, because as you are for Florent and Ivan the perfect example. After your internship, you found a job. You know, immediately after there was a job. Juan, you find a job immediately. So it's extremely important, because as Florent explained, of course you can quit. Oh my God, you have to start again, and so on. So the idea is really to not necessarily to think about the job after the internship, but really to be passionate about the internship you will choose, because like this, you will learn something. And this is added value after to look for a job and potentially to be hired, because it happens sometimes at the beginning, you know, the company does not want necessarily to hire someone, and suddenly, because you are very good and so on, and they have the possibility to create a job, they do it. So it's really important otherwise, and especially in the sport industry, because we are talking about passion. And if it's boring for you to come every day even for an internship, it's a disaster, and this is not the right path to follow, definitely. So I think, I don't know exactly what time is it. Oh my God, it was a little bit longer than expected, but it was really
1 p.m. over here.
Yeah, I don't know, ladies, my colleagues, if we have to answer some.
We had one question, but was about the internship, and someone asked if the internship helped you to find a job later. But I guess you already answered to this question, and it was the only question we had. So okay. Guys, if you want to ask question to our alumni, it is the best time right now. You can use the Q&A tool, or you can use the raise your hand button. Maybe we can wait 2 or 3 minutes to see if there is someone who has a question.
Yeah. I would like also, I seize the opportunity just to, of course, thanks the alumni for your time, because now you are busy men and so on. It's always a pleasure to, you know, really, IOM is like a family. We have 600 students among bachelor's, master's, MBA and DBA. So it's a very small family, and it's always a pleasure, you know, when my colleagues or myself, we send a message or an email, immediately the students come back, you know, and take time for you guys and for us. So we really appreciate, because they are fantastic ambassadors, and it's what we try to transmit as well at IOM. You are part of the family, and it's not when you have your master, it's finished. No, you have alumni forever, and the alumni can come back to us if they have some, let's say, problem to find a job or something, or because also for good reason, like for tonight, they share their experience, or sometimes we ask them, and Florent knows that is a perfect example. We have different curriculum, you know, a committee, and I already invited him to be part of the reflection about what is the next step of this master to improve all the time. So we we love to continue to work with our alumni. They are extremely important for us, and that's why I think they will agree with me. If some guests be in this webinar, you would like to potentially ask specific question to these 3 alumni, Juan, Florent, and Ivan, I'm pretty sure that they are okay to be in contact with you on LinkedIn if you have some specific question. Do not hesitate also to talk to me, to come back to me if you want, so I don't know, data placement, and to talk more about this master or about this what we started to do tonight, or with my colleagues at the admission department. We are here, we are all a family, and really it was a pleasure to spend time, and really appreciate to see again my students. I don't say to my students, no, you are not my students, but part of, anyway. It was really cool to have you in class, guys, and to continue to really thank you so much, because it's always a pleasure to have alumni who really decide answer very quickly and with a big yes. So it's extremely rewarding for us and for me personally. So Najes, I don't know if you have questions or not.
No, I don't know if they are shy or if it was a complete presentation, but they do not have any questions. Thank you all for being here tonight, and this afternoon for you, Juan.
Yeah, absolutely. And take care. Well, Ivan and Florent, you are in Monaco, but Juan, you are in Mexico. Very take care. And all of you guys, take care also. I don't know where you are in the world, but thank you so much. Let's keep in touch.
Really
and thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you for the invitation.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.